6, and I'll see you in just a few. And one more thing, bing bong, you see this mic in your front yard, you know we on the set going hard. I'll see y'all after the break when After 6 continues.
You do, but putting those two minds together. Oh, I see you getting your lotion.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you better.
You reminded me, Mike.
You better moisturize, boy.
I got to do it, man. I'm going straight for the knuckles, and you really got to get in between here like that too, Mike.
And right there, that part right here,
yes.
That little web.
Hip action down here right now. If y'all can see the hip action.
Bro, you're going to break a hip. You know, Jimmy just got a little bit older.
There we go.
It's your birthday today. All right, now, don't break something.
It is. We're going to break it on down all day long. We're going to break it down, you guys. All right. Now, you know who has a really good bacon burger? It's my guilty pleasure, Naja.
Okay.
Now, y'all are not allowed to get upset with me for saying this, but I actually enjoy a good old flamed broiled Whopper from Burger King.
What?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
No,
sometimes
I can't do fast food burgers these days.
I love the idea. Now, you said a little phrase, and I got to touch on it, man. You said all that. So, we got to go back to the very beginning where a lot of us know you from. All That, Kenan and Kel, an OG of comedy way back when you were a kid. What has it been like throughout your career? How has it been, with the growth that you've seen since, being very young and, where you are now?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. You do know what I mean. Like, it's like there's a certain thing that you just don't do when you're around your folks,
Yeah, I do. I do. The synergy, I feel you, brother. I understand, man. Hey, Brandon Black, we will definitely be pulling up to watch you in Madea's Family Homecoming, also on Insecure, and everything else that you got going on, man. You're going to have an awesome career. Thanks for stopping by Midday Joke, brother.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I know you got a lot going on, and you keep a lot of side.
Ooh, it's hitting. Everybody at home is probably making the stank face right now because, the vibe is right. And honestly, you're taking it back, man. You're taking it back to old school R&B where you're talking about what is in your heart, how you actually feel about people. So, now let's kind of learn about you a little bit. Is that the type of person that you are? Do you really feel everything and that's why it's bleeding out on the wax like that?
Absolutely, man.
Hey, T-Pain, let's get it. What's going on, sir? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, that was extra. That went crazy. Who wrote that script? Good God. You need to be writing hardbacks.
It is synonymous with you and your brand no matter what. And it definitely had me vibing. I'm going to take it back a little bit here when you hit that bartender. Yeah, see, I need the auto-tune, you know what I'm saying, to get on your level just a little bit.
It makes everybody sound better. It makes everybody sound better.
Ms. Victoria, thank you very much for joining us tonight. How are you? Happy Monday.
I'm well, and same to you. And what a great voice you have. My goodness.
Well, hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Don't get me started now.
Might have to cast you in something. Might have to cast you.
All right. Atlanta, thank you so very much for joining us on BNC Go After 6, sir. How you feeling today?
What's happening? I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Man, it's so surreal being able to talk to you. I grew up watching Rap City, the basement, literally saw you walk down the stairs every single night, talking hip hop, talking the stories, talking the culture.
Because if the metrics turn out right, you might actually get the show back more than just once.
Yes, we need that. I was literally just talking to one of the homies the other day about Rap City, the basement. So now let's talk about the effect that this show, hey man, it's lit, Tigger. In addition to CSI, you got a lot going on. Well, we're also going to see you soon in Spider-Man No Way Home, which is busting out in December. So can you kind of tell us about your character, maybe what we can expect? I know you can't really spoil it for us, but what are we looking for here?
I can't tell you nothing, Jimmy.
We had to try. Paul, we had to try.
It's really amazing.
Yeah. Selena, you're 13?
I'm 12,
You're
actually.
12? Hey, listen, fam. Y'all see this young lady right here? She is a young woman, literally sitting here at 12 years old. Goodness gracious, your parents have done a great job.
It was not my idea at all. I had nothing to do with it.
Hey, well, I'm glad we could give you the platform to clear your name. Hey, listen, man, Frankie Smith had nothing to do with it. It wasn't his fault. He's just the one that passed the message along. Okay. Got that out the way. Now, Frankie, I want to give you the opportunity to speak to all of the young creatives out there, all the young actors. What does it take to get to where you are in terms of perseverance, knowledge, preparation? Speak to them. Yeah, and honestly, the only person that I could even, could kind of speculate if he could keep it up for the next, the rest of his career would be Trae Young, because he's the only one that really attempts those types of shots and actually expects to make them within the X's and O's of the game, not just, the shot clock is coming down. All right, let me throw up a Hail Mary. So we shall see. But now I kind of want to take us into, a conversation that's a little bit off the beaten path into boxing. Folks, I don't know if you guys know, but there are some great outfits out there. We've got Top Rank that syndicates on ESPN, Premier Boxing Champions, they syndicate on Fox. You've got Showtime, you've got HBO, you've got DAZN. One of the biggest matches over the weekend that was kind of overlooked, in my opinion, was Vasily Lomachenko, former unified world champion at lightweight, taking on Richard Commey, another world champion, and both of them lost to Teofimo Lopez. So talk about that matchup and these guys trying to get back in the chase. My final thought for this particular hour is real easy. Be thankful. It is that time of year. Be thankful for your health. Be thankful for your wealth. Be thankful for your family. Be thankful for your job if you have one. It's the little things. Sometimes we look over them, and when those things change, that's when we start to realize how good we have, because life is good if we let it be. You already know we're coming back with more After 6, but again, I want you to stick around because you already know we're coming back right after the commercial break with more BNC Go. But my final thought, and it's really quick, it's really simple, but it's also quite power-packed. It comes from a big brother of mine. His name is Jamel Jones down in Orlando, Florida, and he is a pastor and also a football coach, and he sends me messages every morning, and the one that I want to touch on today says, obstacles don't block the path. Obstacles are the path. Meaning, don't go around the obstacles. That is going to teach you. Don't go around the things that are tough. That is going to make you. AKA the hotter the fire, the purer the gold. Yeah, that's how you get 24 karat gold. Don't go around it, go through it, because your testimony, that is what is going to bless someone else. So again, After 6 is wrapping up for this particular hour, but we hope you guys tune back in because we've got more to cover. See you in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for your time and attention. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this particular hour of After 6. My final thought here for this hour is love is our superpower as humans. I said it slow for a reason. Let it sink in. Love is our superpower as humans. Now, there's different forms of love. There's ethos, logos, pathos, but I'm talking about that agape love, that all-encompassing, graceful love, that be all things to all people at all times type of love. It's a love that costs you nothing, but literally can change everything. Now, stay tuned because BNC Go continues right after this quick break, and we'll be back with more After 6 in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your time and attention. Now go hug somebody, go love somebody, and I'll see you in just a few. Hey, what's up, everybody? So, NCIS Hawaii, they air part 1 of a 2-part episode immediately after the AFC Divisional Playoff game on Sunday, January 23rd. And guess what, y'all? One of the stars is someone that we know very, very well. Y'all know the name LeVar Burton, right? Yeah, you definitely do. Joining me now is a fan favorite actor and now making his directorial debut on a different type of show is LeVar Burton, here to tell us about everything that he's got going on. He's been an icon since the 70s and 80s, and now he's keeping it moving, and he wants to discuss his newest work right here in 2022 with us. First of all, thank you for joining us. How are you doing, sir?
I'm well, Jimmy. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very well. It's awesome to be talking with you. As I said before we got started talking, you are a legend among all of us, and it's just great to share the screen with you. But first of all, what can you tell us about the new NCIS Hawaii Part 1 of the series?
It's an episode that actually it's not my first episode of NCIS. I was a director on the New Orleans show, NCIS NOLA, but it is my first episode of the Hawaii franchise, and I'm not in the episode, but I am directing. It's a terrific cast, very multicultural. I think that Vanessa Lachey is awesome as number 1 on the call sheet. She's really got a great energy and as well as talent. I like the show an awful lot, and tonight's episode is the first of 2-parters, and that episode that airs on well, not tonight but Sunday after the AFC Championship game is the first of a 2-part episode that's got a lot of action and intrigue.
As the NCIS brand is known for, but as you said and alluded to, you are no stranger to directing at all. As we say these days, you're not new to this, you're true to this, because you have directed episodes of Star Trek, Charmed throughout the years, even the Soul Food TV series, just to name a few of your directorial attributes. But on that side of the camera, we know how you are in front of the camera, a great actor. You love putting on the characters that you play. But what do you love so much about the behind the scenes production process?
Well, Jimmy, I'm a storyteller. I mean, that's what I am. And so to have the opportunity to be a storyteller through a lot of different modalities, as an actor, as a writer, as a producer, as a director, podcaster, public speaker, I feel like I was born to tell stories. So As a director, filmmaking is the most collaborative art form there is. And to be at the center of that energy as a director, the sort of the creative traffic cop, if you will, it's great fun for me. And, you know, I've grown up in this business. I've been doing this for over 45 years. And to me, it is the most fun. I am completely and totally at home on a soundstage, working with motion picture professionals. And there is no higher praise for me than motion picture professional.
So in terms of reading Rainbow, allow me to rephrase. You know that you did not set out to change the world. So I'll ask, what is your message to future educators about making reading and education fun for kids?
That's a great question, Jimmy. And my message to future educators would be, don't be afraid of technology as an ally in the process, right? Because we proved with Reading Rainbow that we could use this very engaging medium to steer children back in the direction of literature and the written word. The idea being, I want to meet kids where they are and then take them where I want them to go, right? But you have to have that relationship of trust in order to do that. In order to do that, you have to have it, and this is what teachers know automatically, you have to be authentic with them. You have to present your authentic self, and that's when you really are able to bring them in. So my message to future educators, don't be afraid of the technology. So long as we are using it with consciousness and forethought, it can really be a big ally, as I say, in the service of the education of our kids.
Now let's talk about Georgie, your star character on Star Trek. Tell me what it was like working on such an iconic franchise.
Working on Star Trek, Jimmy, and playing Geordi LaForge, truly one of the best gigs I've had in my 45 plus years in show business. The people that I met during the course of doing that show, my castmates, we are family to one another. We have seen each other through many, many, many passages in our respective lives, and as it happens, there is that thing called chemistry. Chemistry is real, right? Among groups of human beings, you either have it or you don't. But when you do have it, it is really clear that it all just clicks, right? And we have that with the Next Gen cast. We have that chemistry and the relationships, the dynamics, the love that you feel being extended to one another on the screen. That's real. That's who we are to one another in life as well.
Yes, sir. Now, again, you've had such an iconic career in the 70s and 80s, blossomed even more in the 90s, and continues into the 2000s. Sir, you got your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame back in 1990. Now, when you look back at your career, what do you want kids around the world to think about you?
As long as they're reading, I don't care.
I knew that was coming.
I'm not really attached to. I'm not attached to how people perceive me. I know who I am.
Yes, sir.
I know what I'm about. I know why I'm here. And I know how firm, long-standing, and steadfast that commitment is. So they can think about me any way they want, as long as they associate me with books and reading. I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
And you are more than a cool individual. You are a legend. You are an icon. And as I said, it is awesome to have you on BNC Go. Thank you for stopping by, Mr. LeVar Burton. Now, everybody, you already know NCIS Hawaii. They air part 1 of a 2-part episode immediately following the AFC Divisional Playoff game this Sunday, January 23rd on CBS. Make sure you tune in to talk or watch the legend that we just talked to, Mr. LeVar Burton. Check him out. Good evening and welcome to After 6. I'm Jimmy Marlow V. Listen up, your timing could not be better because we've been telling you all day that I talked with Cedric the Entertainer. Well, now it's time for the full interview in its entirety. So let's see what's up with one of the funniest men on the planet, Cedric the Entertainer. All right, now let's get to That's What's Up, our look at entertainment stories for today. We're talking about this guy right here, cultural icon, an accomplished actor, and one of the funniest men that we all know. Cedric the Entertainer is a wonderful person, and I spoke with him earlier today about a range of topics. So let's go ahead and watch the whole interview and see what's on his mind. Again, you guys, I actually got to talk with Cedric the Entertainer, the man, the myth, the legend, for a few minutes. And we talked about a range of topics. But let me just first say that his energy reached through the camera. It literally grabbed me. I felt like I was talking to someone I knew. It was a surreal moment because I've been watching him since I was a tiny little kid. So let's hear from him now. Listen up, you guys. Cedric the Entertainer, a living legend in the Black community, is going to be hosting TV's biggest night. The 73rd Emmys kicks off on Sunday, September 19th, starting at 8 p.m. Now, we're not telling you about this just because. We're telling you because we actually have Cedric the Entertainer joining us right now, literally. First of all, sir, thank you for gracing BNC Go. How are you doing today?
All is well. What's up, Jimmy? Everything's good, brother.
Sir, first of all, what can we expect from the show, and how excited are you to be doing this show with a live audience, because we know last year was virtual?
You know, that was the thing that appealed to me. When I first got the call, I was excited just to host the Emmys. But then my first question was, hey, man, is this thing virtual? Or we going to have an audience? It was like said, we going full throttle. We got the audience in the house. So, you know, for me as a stand-up, that's what had me hyped and, really excited about that. Everybody's doing the whole COVID protocols and we're following all the compliances. So we're going to have a good time there. People will be safe, but it's going to be great to have all the celebs in the house. A few fans, and just literally let this night be one of celebrating television, man. You know, TV's gotten us through. We couldn't go to the movies. We couldn't go to concerts. So everybody's just at the crib, like watching all kinds of TV shows, and we're gonna celebrate them on Sunday night.
Yes, sir. Now, the thing is, people were at home watching one of your shows because on September 20th, on Monday, you got the premiere of the 4th season of your show, The Neighborhood. Now, coming up in this season, apparently, Dave discovers that he and Calvin are more than just neighbors while researching some genealogy. So fill us in a little bit more on that.
Yeah, Dave, man, he's always into something. So that's funny. He's my neighbor. He's crazy. And so he does one of these kind of like genealogy test situations and finds out deep down, he's my cousin. And so that makes him go crazy. And he does the Dave thing. He comes over. He's got songs. He's got, we want to do the family photographs. And but it also, again, what we do on this show is bring up social issues. And so therefore it turns and we start to talk about reparations in the process of that. And that's the kind of thing that we'll do on this show all season. Really excited about some of the places that we're going. But the premiere is that. So we do comedy mixed with little social jewels for you to go and hopefully start great conversations.
Now, see, that's one of the beautiful things about you as an original king of comedy and a true entertainer. It's not just about making people laugh. It's about making the laughs purposeful. So now I kind of want to dive into your creative process. What's it like when you're getting ready for a hosting show, whether it's either the Emmys or you're going out and you're putting out some of your own original content? Where does your mind go?
The main thing is to kind of really just allow yourself to think about the things that you really want to talk about. You don't even really have to formulate it as a joke. Just what are the areas? Like, what are the things I want to do? And then from there, just start to morph them up. With the Emmys, I put together a writing team that I like. And then I start throwing out ideas. I let them throw things at me. And then we just started weed them out, shape them up, mold them. Some things are better off in skits. We all right, let's do a skit for that one. Some things are better off at stand-up. All right, let's just do that in stand-up. And so, so I get to mix my monologue in with other ideas that we thought were funny. So we got some funny skits that's going to happen throughout the show, as well as I'm going to have a little fire monologue that's going to be dope as well. So it's going to be a good time.
See, that's why you are the man, because you're not just talent. You actually have your hands, your mind, and your heart in everything that you do. And that's why, again, you have continued to reimagine yourself throughout the years. So now, speaking of, let's go back to the beginning. I'm 32, so I grew up watching the Steve Harvey Show with Bullethead, Romeo, Levita, Alizé Jenkins, of course, the barbershop movies, the original kings of comedy. So what's it like, seeing the evolution of comedy from where it has gone to where it is now, of course, with social media, and there's a whole new wave of new comedians coming out?
It's one of those things. I feel like, in a way, my class of comedian was on the start of that, because it used to be just regular comedian, big stars. You had Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, the Wayans, one-off guys, But then came Def Comedy Jam, which was the cable introduction. So me, Steve Harvey, and Rock, and Jamie Foxx, and all of us came running through that door. And now, you got the social media guys, and there's so many funny dudes, DC, Young Fly, and HaHa Davis, and Ryan Davis, and Pretty V, all these guys, all these young, talented people, amazing. I know them, I watch them, I dig them all. And so, I encourage them, Country Wayne, encourage them to keep popping, So that's the kind of stuff that I really like, that, people have platforms where, they don't have to rely on, networks or network executives saying, I get who you are. You can, I think about little Desi Banks, just super country, but wild and funny. And he doesn't have to change who he is to be popular. So I love that, encourage that.
Parlay in the apartment. You're killing me with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, you did mention one of the greats. You knew him. We all watched him. Rest in peace to Bernie Mac. A legend. We all know who he is. He still feels like he's still living because everything is on wax right now, but we're only watching what was on TV. You actually knew him as a person. Wow. So could you share maybe, one of your favorite Bernie Mac memories with us?
Oh, man. Big Mac was just legendary in general, man, as a person. Couple of different things that pop in my mind, but one of my favorites was, in the first year of Kings of Comedy, before we shot the movie or anything, I used to go first. I used to go first on the show, and then everybody would, and it would be an intermission, and I would bring all the celebs and stuff backstage to have drinks and party before, and then during the intermission. Well, Bernie came in my room one night and did a set. Like, he performed in front of all these people right in my dressing room. Killed it. Everybody went crazy. He just turned around and said, I'm Bernie Mac. I'm out of here. And just turned and walked away. And everybody was like, oh, it just was one of those magical moments that you just can never get back, man. Like, it was funny.
That is the caliber of you guys as people, as comedians, and just as professionals. You're always ever ready to drop the laughs. But before you go, you are like an ambassador for the Black community. You bridge the gap between like 3 generations. So what would be your message to Black America after what we've seen over the last year as it relates to social activism and civil rights?
Mainly for us is we just got to keep our foot on the gas. Oftentimes there is a fatigue that comes with so much of the things that we have to fight uphill on. Social injustice, economic injustice, the things that we fight for with healthcare now, with the COVID and how it's it's a disparity there. But our key thing is for each and every one of us to know that we have something to say, and let's just keep our foot on the gas. We cannot get fatigued. We cannot feel like, we're not being heard, because, change comes in little increments, and you'll look up and there will be change. And, some things are, big, and they say, all right, cool, we're going to do this. But most things come with, let's not stop. Let them know we dead serious. As they say in New York, dead ass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Heard loud and clear. Thank you so very much for your time, sir. Now, Cedric the Entertainer, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to be hosting the 73rd Emmy. So you guys be sure to tune in Sunday, September 19th at 8 p.m. to support the man. Thank you again for your time, sir.
I appreciate you, fam. Thank you, man. All right.
Yes, sir.
That's so lit. Cedric the Entertainer on BNC Go After 6. Listen, one thing you need to know, when this eyebrow goes up, shenanigans. Now, from buy you a drink to bartender, T-Pain has got the hits from beginning to end, especially throughout my childhood and my adulthood as well. What am I talking about? I love his song, I Like That, with Kehlani. It's out right now. Now, since 2004, he has delivered bangers on bangers to radio, collaborating with almost everyone from Kanye West to Taylor Swift. His distinctive sound influenced the auto-tune revolution of the early 2000s. He's truly a revolutionary, and his longevity is due in part to the fact that he remains an innovator to this day. He's honed his craft, and he's also just an extremely layered and just an awesome guy. Hey, listen, y'all, Tallahassee's favorite son, T-Pain, is joining me right now on After 6 to talk about music and, of course, his legacy within hip-hop. Hey, T-Pain, let's get it. What's going on, sir? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, that was extra. That went crazy. Who wrote that script? Good God. You need to be writing hardbacks.
Hey, yes, sir. I mean, you T-Pain, man. Listen, you done had me bopping and gyrating and jigging since I was in, like, middle school. So, you know, we had to get you right. We had to get you right. Now, you call yourself a rapper turned singer. You know, that's where we all know you from, but you're now an author. And you have a book out called Can I Mix You a Drink? Tell us about your book and what we can find in there.
Basically, it's 50 cocktails from my life and career since I started my journey on where I am now. You know, the drinks I've tried along the way and my spin on them, and, you know, getting together with a actual master mixologist. It helped it kind of bring everything home and really make it professional and, you know, make it consumable, because some of my drinks is too strong for people. So, you know, some of it had to get down back. So, no, but it's I mean, it's a fun book. It's in place of a memoir or anything like that. I didn't want to like make a book that was like about my life. We all got the same story. Everybody know we all grew up hard. You know, it was tough, terrible relationship with parents, and we all heard the story 1,000 times. And nobody needed that part from me, so I figured I would you know, create something that people could actually use, and something that, you know, people would open multiple times instead of a one good read and then, all right, heard that story and we out of here. So I wanted to make this book that people would enjoy at parties, open it up multiple times, even when they're alone. You know, just a better book than bragging about myself.
Hey, listen, y'all heard the man. Be careful making some of these drinks because they are strong. They definitely gonna get you there. Now, T-Pain, I gotta pick your brain, man. You've been in the industry for so long, but you continue to innovate, recreate yourself as a brand, but then you also continue to make the hits. Everything is always, it's always unique and it's always different. So talk about your creative process, man. How do you come up with this stuff?
It's not something that I necessarily come up with. It's something that comes to me most of the time. You know, it's just like, man, I would really like if things went like this. Like even when I was younger and I would sing songs on the radio at home, my older brother Rashid would make fun of me. And then I would go tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, Rashid making fun of me. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, he's making fun of me because I'm singing songs how I think they should go. And I'm not singing it the regular way, and I don't think they should go that way. And then my dad started exploring, well, why do you think they should go a different way? And I'm like, I think it'd just be better if it did this and did this. And he was like, I'm probably going to go buy you some music equipment.
oh man, that was funny. That was funny, bro.
It was just, you know, it was a no-brainer, man. It's something that you know, when you see your kids start doing abnormal things and, you know, things that you would only expect an adult to be doing and thinking, you know, irrational at the time. It seemed irrational, but, you know, when you see your kid have diverse thinking, you kind of, you know, push the envelope a little bit and see where this goes. I felt like my dad took appropriate action in everything he did. And man, I love him for it to this day. So we, you know, everything's all good. I feel like there's not a formula that I have to come up with anything. It's just when something makes me feel good, I think it's good. And I put it out in hopes that somebody is as crazy as me. That same way Quentin Tarantino make movies.
Yes, sir.
He don't make movies for anybody. He makes movies that he enjoys, and hopefully somebody likes that much blood. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I make music.
Yes, sir. Hey, folks at home, you just heard this man. He is great because he is who he is and he has honed his craft and he likes what he is doing. That's the easiest way for anybody to become great. So thank you for sharing that with everyone. But now, you know, I got to ask you about auto-tunes. What brought you to auto-tunes? Because you truly revolutionized music. There's still folks, you know, messing around with auto-tunes in their music right now today. So what brought you to that?
Jennifer Lopez. I heard it on one of her songs. And I mean, she only used it for a few seconds, but I was like, man, I want to do a whole song like that. And it just took me on a 2-year journey of trying to find it because I didn't know the name of it. Because obviously, you know, if you're not in the industry, you're not just going to have access to things like that. So man, after a while, I found it. I tried it out a few different ways. The first song I did all the way through with it was a remake of Blackstreet's "Creep." And after that, I was like, oh, I'm using this all the time now. It's just great. And it's fun and makes me sound better. And then after a while, I started weaning off of it and sounding good on my own. And now I can go back and forth. I can walk away from it if I want to, but it's mine. I'm not going to finish it before anybody else does. So it's here for the long run. So, it just became a passion of mine very early on. So, it's got to stay with me, man. I got to stick with it, It's something that changed the game and it changed the world. So I'm definitely not going to be the first one to let it go.
Oh, no, definitely not, because it is synonymous with you and your brand no matter what. And it definitely had me vibing. I'm going to take it back a little bit here when you hit that bartender. Yeah, see, I need the auto-tune, you know what I'm saying, to get on your level just a little bit.
It makes everybody sound better.
Now, also, let's talk about some of your business moves here. Recently, you partnered with the platform Twitch, the gaming platform, and one of your first projects with them is a song called I'm Cool With That. Tell us about the partnership, what you guys hope to accomplish, and then, fill us in on how the song came about.
The partnership itself is just a way to really highlight more smaller musical creators on the platform. So basically, I'm the music ambassador of Twitch now, which means I find smaller streamers that are doing music streams, and I put them in the forefront. I host them with thousands of people. I bring thousands of people to their channel, and I basically shed light on smaller people in the industry doing music on Twitch. And that's just kind of my job to handle the traffic flow of things on the platform itself. And I think that's, it's pretty cool to be able to shed light on people that, not only I feel like deserve it, but, people have been popping up in my Twitter like, yo, you got to check out this person. And, it just feels good to be able to highlight people that may have 20 to 100 viewers and then just go ahead and knock them up to 3,000 real quick and just have people check them out, and they get more followers. I always encourage my people to subscribe to their channels, and it also helps that I kind of make sure I look for people that look like me as well. So that always helps out. Yes, the representation always helps. We don't get the spotlight a lot. So
yes, sir.
I look for that first.
Hats off to you for using your platform and using your brand to, again, shine the light using technology. Nonetheless, technology is such a beautiful thing because now, again, we can shine a light on some really good creatives out there that just, again, don't have the ability to get their work out there. But now, hashtag shenanigans. I got a question.
Come on now.
Where was you at? Where was you at? How was you feeling when you was talking about this bartender? Were you somewhere here in Tallahassee? Was it the moon?
No, this was Jamaica. I was in Jamaica. Okay. I was on vacation in Jamaica. I actually have a picture of the setup. I gotta send y'all this picture. It's crazy. I had the worst setup of all time. It was just a big speaker from the airport, a crazy stupid microphone. I recorded this whole thing in a hotel room in Jamaica, and it was a pretty bad setup, but I made it work. Didn't have to re-record or anything. Just got back. Got back to Atlanta, got it mixed, and man, we put it out super almost immediately after that. So yeah, this was a hotel room. It was a resort, so it was all inclusive, and I was just drinking a lot, and it just seemed like bartenders don't get enough credit. So I had to throw my hat in the ring there and see if I can get that going, and I did. So,
yeah, and you have done so much. It definitely worked out. The auto-tunes worked out. Your career has definitely worked out for you, sir. And everybody, if you don't know how deep his resume is, I'm looking at Spotify right now. He's on The Boss with Rick Ross. Of course, we got Bartender. We got Low with Flow Rider. We got Close to You with Dreezy. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And he told you that he makes his music because he likes the way that the way that it sounds. Again, T-Pain.
Exactly.
It was so awesome having you on After 6, man. Come back anytime. We would love to have you.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all go ahead and get comfortable. Great conversation with someone that we literally all know in the Black community. Tracy Oliver's newest project called Harlem is out right now on Amazon Prime Video, and the show is an instant hit with fans. Now, the series follows 4 black women living in Harlem, of course, and the storylines cover everything from relationships and careers to finding your identity as a black woman. Now, that is such a that's a mouthful of things to cover in the story. So joining us right now to talk about the show and so much more is Miss Megan Good, of course, one of the stars of the show and just a brand all in herself. How are you doing tonight, ma'am? Happy hump day.
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So first of all, tell us about the show Harlem. A lot of folks are actually comparing it to the show Girlfriends, but what makes the show unique and different in its own right?
Oh man, well that's a great comparison. I would say to me, well, for one, it's based in Harlem, and Harlem is such a unique city. There's no place in the world that's like it, where you can just like get up at 6 a.m. and you see someone with like an incredible hat and outfit, and they're like walking their dog, and like just the culture and the history. But what I really, really love about this particular show, and for me, the excitement was that I got to play this character, Camille, who is just so quirky and so offbeat and so kind of random, but she's also like a boss and a professor at Columbia. And it's just a different character for me. And then each one of the characters on the show, each one of the girls are just, we're not one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional characters. These are fully formed human beings that are so interesting. And I just fell in love with the script and just, everything about it. So that's a testament to Tracy Oliver, because she is an absolute genius.
Now, that is the characters that are presented in the show. Now, let's talk about what it actually feels like to be on a show that has representation for young black girls out there. It is centered around 4 black women and their lifestyle. How much does that mean to you to portray these types of characters?
Oh man, it's everything. Growing up, if you don't see yourself, then you don't know what you can be and what you can do and what you can accomplish. And having representation, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera in every area, whether it's directing, producing, studio executives, writing, whatever it may be, that representation, it transforms the world and allows the world to know that we are here, we're all a part of the world, and there's not just room for 1 or 2, different TV shows that have 4 black women's experience, but there's so many unique and diverse women of color who are having such specific experiences that we need more. We can't just have 4 things that say, well, that's all you guys can experience is these 4 people. And so just representation is everything, especially for the younger generation, because it does inform that sky is not even the limit and that they're so worthy. And I want them to feel seen. For me, especially with my character, it was the first time that I was like, oh, this is my friend group. Like, I see myself here, and that there's a place for everybody.
That's a fact. There is a place for everybody, and truly in terms of that glass ceiling, there's always more, and it is great that you guys are putting that storyline out there for the next generation as well. But we got to talk about what it is like being on set. What is the energy like when you have a show that is based on the lifestyles of black people and you have black excellence that is pushing that forward? What's that like?
Oh man, the set is crazy. Like me and Grace had just said like 2 years prior, we're like, man, it would be so amazing if we could do a show together, because, when you're doing TV and film, with film, it's often a race. With TV, it's a marathon, and you want to make sure your quality of life every single day is valued, and the people that you're spending time with and the character that you get to play and the show and what the show's saying and your crew and everything, it's so, so important. And so, we had already wanted to do that. And then Shaniqua, turns out I had been on the phone with her like 5 years prior and had never met her. And she was like, I'm gonna claim it in Jesus' name. We're gonna do a show together. And I was like, me too, girl. So it was my first time meeting her, is when we're testing for the show. And then Jerry, from the moment I met her, it was like spirits connected. And that friendship, that sisterhood, that true, true love, it has transcended the show and has become real life sisterhood. And I think that you can see it in the characters, and you can see it in the way, the dynamics and how they interact. And you can't buy that. You can't make that. It really has to come from the heart. And it really, really does. And it's made my experience on Harlem so rich and such like a career defined moment in terms of everything about my quality of life. Rather, it's what I get to do as an actress, the people I spend my time with are just waking up and excited to go to work. It's made it so rich.
Wow. And I can only imagine that those vibrations are definitely going to, reach through the screen and touch every last one of us because, your productions, they always have throughout the years. Now, you're not just an actress. You're not just a mogul. We're going to talk about fashion in just a second, but you recently partnered up with World Vision to support children in need. What is it like working with that organization and having a positive impact on people around the world?
Man, like World Vision is so dope. They're so everywhere in the world. World Vision exists, and the work that they're doing are, they're changing lives. And for me to partner up with them, we created this bracelet together, which is the tie that binds. And when people go to World Vision's catalogs, they go to worldvision.org, they can get this bracelet or they can get some of the other things that they have. But every single thing that they do, when you're giving a gift, you're not just giving a gift, you're giving a gift that's changing someone's life. You're giving a gift that's changing an entire family's life. And the one that I created is from a group of artisans in India. And, what I found is like the holiday season, love it so much, but like the gift part of it just gets hard for me because I'm like, I want it to be meaningful and I don't want it to be because I have to. I want it to be like I want to. And with this, I really want to because I know that I'm giving something that's so much bigger than me. And I hope that people feel that, and I hope that they get in on this because these things are the best type of gifts to give because they transcend and because they change people's lives and because you really are giving the gift that doesn't stop giving across the world. And I think it's our responsibility to chip away as much as we can, little by little every day, and do our part. So, yeah.
And, I want you to give some people a gift right now, right here on After 6. I want you to talk to the young creatives out there, even the mothers and the fathers. Talk to people about persevering and pushing through to whatever it is that they have in their hearts. If it's a goal, if it's a hobby that they want to take a little bit more seriously. We've all known you for so many years and we've seen you recreate yourself, dive into different business opportunities. So, just touch people with your thoughts and your experience.
Yeah, thank you. Just don't ever give up, you're worthy, you deserve God's best, you're capable, you can do it, no matter who doesn't believe in you, no matter who doesn't see the vision. It's about, do you see the vision? What does God put in your heart and what does God say? And just don't ever give up and don't ever throw in the towel because you never know how close you are to that one thing switching things up, and every no brings you that much closer to the right yes, not just any yes. And do the work, put in the work. Faith without works is dead, so you got to do your part to meet God halfway, and know that there's nobody else in the world like you, and nobody can do what you can do the way that you can do it. So there is much need of you, because if you don't do it, it won't get done the way it was supposed to get done. And so know that you're unique, and know that you are valued even when you don't feel it, and just go out there and get it and make your mark and do your part and use it all up until there's nothing left.
Well, hey, Megan, I just want to let you know that the rest of the night here on After 6 is about to be lit because I just internalized and accepted everything that you just said. And guys at home, I hope you did too. So again, thanks to actress and businesswoman, Miss Megan Good. Thanks for stopping by After 6. This is a novel concept, you guys. Achieve peace by any means. That is the literal philosophy of a superhero named Peacemaker, who is played by John Cena. Now, it's a show that is coming out on HBO Max, and the character first appeared in the movie Suicide Squad. If you're a comic book buff, you already knew that. Well, now the Peacemaker is building his own squad. So let's check out a clip from the show.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Peacemaker?
No.
He is a trained killer. We've got trouble with that maniac.
Go! What are you waiting for?
That thing better not crap back there.
Yeah, how train an eagle, dude? Not without stealing its soul.
That looks pretty awesome. It looks intense, and I will definitely be tuned in, but I know you're thinking the same thing. I want to know more. So joining us now is one of the stars of Peacemaker. We actually saw him a little bit in that trailer right there, Mr. Chukwudi Iwuji. He's here to tell us all about the storyline, his character, and whatnot. Thank you for joining us. Sir, how are you?
Thank you so much. I'm very well. Lovely to be on the show.
Yes, sir. So this show is a spinoff, as we said, of the movie Suicide Squad. So tell us about your character and briefly, if you can, how he fits into the storyline.
Well, my character is called Clemson Mern. He's he has a history in Black Ops. He has a very, shall we say, violent, checkered past. And I've been hired by Amanda Waller, who you saw in the Suicide Squad mission, played by the incredible Viola Davis, to put together this new team to save the world, literally, from the latest danger. And I have to work with this group of misfits headed by Peacemaker to somehow make them work together and save the world. So that's my sort of remit.
Oh my goodness. And the Peacemaker looks like he does not play any games. Look like he has you guys on your team kind of shifting and figure out what is he going to do this time. So how much fun, with that said, how much fun did you guys have filming this type of movie?
My God, it was so. Sometimes it was criminal to think that I was being paid for the amount of fun we were having. There were times, when you want to do a shot and it's an intense shot, but the camera is shaking because the cameraman is laughing so hard behind it and stuff. And James Gunn's style, he loves improvising. I mean, he's very technical with his writing. He has brilliant rhythm in his writing, but part of that allows for space to sort of riff. And John Cena and Steve Agee and Freddie Strom and Danielle. I mean, they're just geniuses at comedy. So I'm kind of like the straight man. So I was there going these because I come from Shakespeare, so I say what's on the page. So it was a real learning lesson watching these guys riff on stuff and try to keep a straight face. There's a lot of the blooper reel is going to be a lot of fun.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine because John Cena is a laugh all by himself. So I can only imagine the magic that you guys had behind the scenes. But now, hold on. As you just said, you come from stage acting. So let's learn a little bit more about you. You are Nigerian. You went to a boarding school in England, and you graduated from Yale with a degree in economics. Mr. Owuji, how did all of that? Yes, sir. We do it here on BNC. So how did you end up in acting after all of that?
It's very interesting. I genuinely believe that acting finds you. I mean, as a child, I used to act a lot in Lagos, Nigeria. I did a lot of school plays. But then my parents joined the UN, United Nations, and we traveled around and I went to boarding school. And back then, it was very much you were either an athlete or you were an academic or you were in the arts. I've been of Nigerian parents, there's only three professions, lawyer, doctor, or engineer. So I sort of did economics because I love it. It's a great philosophy. It's a lot of fun. But in the back of my mind, I sort of suspected I wanted to find something in the arts. So in the end, the way it happened was I was talking to my dad, and in England, they make you decide very quickly what you're going to be. But I knew in America, you have the liberal arts system with 2 extra years of doing whatever you want. So I said to my dad, I don't know what I want to do. Can I go to university in America? And my dad said, okay, if you're not going to go to Oxford or Cambridge, if you're not going to go to Oxford or Cambridge, then you have to get into an Ivy League. So he made a bet with me. And so we had a bet, and I got into Yale, and it was the most expensive bet of his life. Let me put it that way. So I went to Yale, did economics, but while I was there, I started acting. And, at the end of the day, you've got to do what you love. And I remember that letter I wrote to my parents saying, I finally found what I love. I know it's not in the world of economics, but it's what I want to do. And I was petrified about what the response would be. But as all parents, good parents do, they want you to live your life. And I still have the letter he sent me. And my mom, they both wrote it together, which said, all we could do was give you the best education. Now go live your life. And they supported me with that change. And I think a lot of who I am as a person that I bring onto stage and film is very much about those formative years and all those subjects I studied. It wasn't just tunnel vision. I experienced a lot of things. Yeah.
Now we've got just maybe about a minute left here, so I really want to kind of pick your brain. As you just said, you've done a lot of stage work. Now you're acting in movies like John Wick and, of course, the Peacemaker show, and you've also been in so many other various TV shows. So first of all, how did you make the jump into doing big productions like this, and talk to people out in the public about the perseverance of what it takes to even look your parents in the face and say, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it?
Nothing. I mean, there's a cost to everything, and you've got to be dedicated to something you believe in. And it's hard work. People always ask, and one of the big questions they ask, what is your process? And I say, my process is I learn the lines and I work harder than the next person. So my whole goal is when it's the middle of the night and you've just been offered an audition the next day and you have to learn 5 pages, you learn those 5 pages because you've got to take every advantage you can take. And I come from the way you say what allowed it to happen. There's a big chunk of it is luck, but you've got to be ready when the luck arrives. You know, there's certain things you can't control, but what you can control is how prepared you are when the opportunities present themselves. And I believe that if you're ready, when the luck comes round, you'll be able to grab it, and it will almost feel effortless, even though you know how much hard work went into it.
Sir, you just dropped a nugget on us outside of telling us about the Peacemaker show and your character. We got to learn about you as an individual. So thank you so much, Mr. Chukwudi Iwuji, for stopping by BNC Go.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker premiere January 13th on HBO Max, and the rest of the episodes will drop on Thursdays.